Welcome to week one, inside look at Ouachita Christian football. I'm here at the table on the campus of OCS during rush hour. We got students everywhere, and we're looking forward to the kickoff of the 2023 football season against the Dallas Christian Chargers this Friday, 7:30, not 7 o'clock, 7:30, correct?
That's right.
Yeah, and so I'm here with Coach Stephen Fitzhugh, 26-year coach.
I know.
240 wins, 6 state championships. But before we get into this, I do want to remind everyone that the game this Friday will be live streamed. It's going to be played at Evangel Christian Academy in Shreveport, live streamed on YouTube, and the audio will be on MixLR. Also want to thank Sonic for providing these wonderful drinks. The North Monroe location of Sonic, they're going to sponsor our coaches show and provide refreshments while we talk about football and what's going on as the Eagles prepare to kick off this season. Coach, thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule.
Appreciate you, Daniel.
Yeah, well, I'm excited about this. I'm excited about this season. And so I just want to ask you a few questions, as we lead into this season. The first one doesn't necessarily have to do with football, I guess. Maybe so at its foundational level. But, when you look at Dallas Christian and Ouachita Christian, there's a lot of similarities at the team, with the teams. A great history of high school football. They've won 10 titles. We've won 8. Their head coach has been there over the last 3 decades. You've been here for, coached in 3 decades. Both of you average about 10 wins a year. And what some people may not know is that you graduated from Dallas Christian and played your high school football there. So what I want to know is how big of an impact did that have on you when it came to your philosophy of coaching and kind of the culture or the environment that you want to create, with your teams?
Well, I tell you, I loved high school football, and we're honoring this week. So everybody coming to the game, get there early at 7:15. We're going to honor Coach Larry Richmond, who was my high school coach. He was also my coach in college at Harding, but he was also Ouachita Christian's coach in the early days right there when we first began football. I think there was one year that Larry Anderson had it in 77, but Coach Richmond took over in 1978, 79, led the football program here and did a lot of work on the facilities and getting a practice field and stadium and lights and things like that. And, Coach Richmond has been a big impact on my life. Tony Felker, who was my defensive coordinator in high school and still is coaching defense at Dallas Christian to this day. I got into coaching because of the coaches that I had at Dallas Christian. That I knew when I was in 8th grade that I want to coach football and be in a private school, teach Bible, and again because of the influence of those coaches and other coaches that impacted me there while I was at Dallas Christian. And Lord's blessed me with my dream to be at a Christian school and get to coach and teach Bible, and so, but Dallas Christian played a huge impact in my life, no doubt.
Yeah, as a coach and everything. So, as far as this specific game goes, it's the first game of a 2023 season. Our guys are coming off a Bayou Jam performance against Gina. We got the ball to start the game. 5 or 6 plays later, we punch it in for the touchdown, and strong runs from Macon Leonard, a nice catch and throw from Luke Vadrine to Tate Hamby, and then Luke caps it off with a run. But then Gina responds, and they respond with 22 unanswered points. That was just in that first quarter. We turned the ball over twice, and we have a hard time getting momentum going after that. It was kind of a stalemate from that point forward. Defense made some adjustments, kept Gina from scoring anymore. So that was the final score of that Jamboree, 22-7. So Gina's a different team than we're going to see on Friday. Completely different formations and the whole thing. But talk about some things that maybe you and your coaching staff took from that game against that type of team that you can use against an opponent like Dallas Christian.
Well, it's about getting better every week, and that's what we talk about is that on game day, that's our test. And as coaches, we grade our players. They get a plus or minus based on starting off. Do you line up right? And then do you play the technique that you've been coached to in practice and things such as that? So regardless, they are different style teams, but the foundations and basics of football are the same as far as, again, your tackling, how to run through a tackle, how to block, techniques for defensive line, defensive backs, your first steps. All those things are important, and regardless of what kind of scheme a team plays. And so, Jamboree, I'm glad that we got to play a great Gina team and who exposed some of our weaknesses. One thing that we talked about, especially from the defensive side, alignment, assignment, and tackle. Gina, of all the plays, we had 3 plays where we missed tackles. Mm-hmm. And those 3 tackles resulted in an additional 95 yards and 2 touchdowns. And so
difference in the game right there.
It is. And so it's the basic fundamentals of the game. Offensively, we got to get the snap. That's where it starts. Lost Drew Mosier after that first series, and that kind of got us out of rhythm. And so, again, after you get the snap, it takes 11 people on offense for that play to work. And defensively, every now and then somebody may do the wrong thing, but that mistake may not show up as big as it does on offense. Offensively, if one person does not do their assignment, it can mess up the entire play. So that, again, great opportunity for us to learn from film session, because we're going to study it each week, discuss it, and, again, try to get better this week. So that's what we're going to need to do. Dallas Christian does run a different type of offense. They do different things defensively than Gina. And so, again, it's coming out and getting better at the basic fundamentals of the game this week.
Yeah, you hate that Drew Mosier goes down, and hopefully it's not too serious, and he'll be back in action before too long. But you do get to see some of your depth on the offensive line, something that's going to be needed throughout the season. And another player that was noticeably absent was Zach White. Zach White makes an impact on the field, had over 1,400 yards of offense last year, over 20 touchdowns, and so he was not in the game, and I think he expects to play this week, and I hope he does. But that's going to make a big difference in our offense. Do you expect him to play and be back this week?
Yes, I think Zach will be back, and so again, there's no doubt he's a guy that's been a 3-year starter, and his experience, his leadership will certainly make a big difference having him back out there on the field on both sides of the ball.
That's right.
And so. Yes, we expect him to be back and ready to go.
Okay, so Gina offense was definitely different than the Dallas Christian offense. But the week before, we played a scrimmage against Calvary, and they had an offense that was more similar to what we're going to see, a team composition that more similar to what we will see on Friday with Dallas Christian. And we were able to find some success against Calvary in that quarter, that live quarter that we played. So from that scrimmage, and, you talked about the Jamboree some, but what are some key takeaways that you saw in the scrimmage and in the Jamboree that can help OCS be successful? What are some things that you feel like will work?
Well, I'll tell you, it's definitely beneficial to have played Calvary, because their offense in Dallas Christians is very similar. Calvary's going to spread it out. They're going to run the football just like Dallas Christian will. It's something people are misled, deceived on sometimes, that when you throw the football, they think that that's all you do. But teams like us, like them, they like to keep that balance of keeping the run open as well. And so, the quarterback that we'll see at Dallas Christian might be the best quarterback we see all year long. Luke Carney is a junior. He always has multiple Division I offers, which is hard to do as a high school quarterback, because most colleges just want to go ahead and go to the transfer portal. So it's a rare situation for a kid like that. But Luke is an accurate passer. He's been starting for Dallas Christian. Again, I stay in touch with my coaches from there. He's been starting since he was a freshman, so he has 2 years under his belt starting. Was Offensive Player of the Year last year as a sophomore.
Couple state championships,
too.
too.
Yeah, and so he's a great quarterback, not just throwing. He can run as well. He's about 6'1", 195, strong runner. And then the main target is going to be Speedy Nettles, number 3, and he's a Purdue commit. He starts on offense and defense for him. He is their Tate Hamby. Yep. I mean, that's the player that they're going to try to get the ball in his hands, let him be a playmaker, offense, defense, special teams, whatever it may be. And so defensively, we've got to eliminate the big plays. That's what we've got to do. They're going to get some plays here and there. There's no doubt. But we've got to eliminate the big play and not let it be a one-play strike for a 75-yard touchdown, stuff like that. That's going to be critical that our defense does their job, and so that's going to be super important. They do have a lot of guys going both ways. Our offensive line is going to be key for us. Dallas Christian has a great defense. I saw on Twitter they were boasting of the third straight game the other day with a shutout, going back to their semis and finals from last year. So they have an outstanding defense, but, again, we got an experienced offensive line coming back, and so that's going to make a big difference to have that experience and not us playing with a brand new set of five like we did last year. So so having that experience on the offensive line is just great that we can bring some guys back with that kind of experience.
So I got one more question, and it's not one that I really prepped you for, but it has to do with our schedule this year. We've talked about some of the travel, some of the new teams, but, I'm going to be honest, Coach, when I look at this schedule, and I've been here for 6 or 7 years, and it seems like it's the most difficult schedule on paper to start the season that we've had. Now, I could be wrong there, but what are your thoughts?
Without a doubt, it is the toughest schedule we've ever put together. Watson Chapel in Arkansas dropped us after we won state last year, and when I was visiting with Coach Felker over the Christmas holidays last year, he made the comment that the team they were playing week one dropped them.
Yeah.
And so it was like I kept that in the back of my head and was like, well, that may be a good matchup right there. And it's exciting to me to play a schedule like this because we did have a lot of senior starters returning things. And so to get to play a state champion from Texas, one from Louisiana, one from Arkansas.
There you go.
It's an exciting challenge to go, hey, let's go to battle and see who's the best. So again, that's something that with an experienced team, I felt like we can put a tough schedule together. If it's a bunch of brand new starters everywhere, I wouldn't have been tempted to do this. But we have good starters, good experience coming back that, again, guys have played a lot of games for us playing in the championship. They already have over 4 years of experience with the 15 or however many extra playoff games they've gotten to have during their career. So it's going to be a fun challenge.
Yeah, I look forward to it. I know anybody else. I know everybody is looking forward to this season. I expect we're going to have a great crowd on Friday. I want to remind everyone that we will be on live stream. So to see the live stream, you just go to OCS.org. On the homepage at the top, there's a tab that says live stream. You can click on it. You can get the audio only, or you can get the video. The video is only going to be up for a little while, and we'll take it down until the end of the season. But you'll be able to access that if you don't make the trip. But, of course, we want everybody to make the trip and pack the stadium at Evangel Christian. Coach, anything else you want to add?
Well, just for that clarification as you're going through that. So you're talking about audio and video. When they click on the YouTube video, will we still have our audio feed coming out of that program? Okay.
Yep. So the video will have the same audio that's going to be on what's called MixLR. That's the MixLR app.
That's the new radio version.
That's
if they
right.
don't care to watch, they just want to listen. That's what they go to.
If they're driving down the road, we don't want them to be distracted watching a video. Just turn the MixLR on and the audio. And of course, we'll start the pregame show probably around 7 o'clock on Friday. So if you're on the way to the stadium, you can click on it there. But Coach, thank you for your time today, and I look forward to doing this. What we'd like to do is get some more seniors, get some seniors and some of the students involved in this coaches show. I want to thank Sonic Drive-In of North Monroe once again, and when you leave town on Friday to go to the game, stop by Sonic, get you a meal or a drink from the road. When you go to that YouTube or that MixLR, you can subscribe to the channels, so you'll get notifications anytime something goes live. We're going to try to put more and more content out, and I look forward to that. Again, check out OCS.org to find all those events. So, safe travels this Friday on the way to Shreveport. God bless you all. Football's here. Go Eagles.